Take one. Let's see how this goes. My name's Jesse, and I'm an INFJ. And as you can hear, I'm from Australia. Got the down south Bogan accent. And I've felt compelled to start making some videos cathartically about my experience as an INFJ and just my understanding of it, things that have happened to me, and so forth. I'd like to dedicate this first video to another YouTuber called Marty Glenn. He has inspired me to do this because in a few of his videos he's spoken about how he does the videos for himself, and they're very helpful, and I've always thought about doing it as well. I just haven't gotten around to it or had sufficient compulsion, but I feel now the time's right. I'm sort of immersing myself in the Facebook group and getting used to sort of talking about things. So this first video I want to try and keep quick, but I want to talk about the mental hamster wheel that INFJs suffer from. And if you know what a hamster wheel is, the mouse just running, or the hamster. And a lot of people, like, it's not exclusive to INFJs, but what is exclusive to INFJs is how much time we spend on it and what it does to us mentally. So it's mental hamster wheel, it's conversations in your head. So most of the time people will ruminate. Got that off. Someone mentioned that on Facebook today. It was that word I hadn't thought about for a while, but it's very close to what the hamster wheel is. We'll ruminate about past arguments, things that have happened years ago, 5 minutes ago. We'll have a hi hello to someone, keep moving, and we'll think about that. Or we'll have a deep and meaningful conversation with someone, and the next day we'll be thinking about it non-stop, ad nauseum. So it's the inability to get off of that, which is the problem that's really exclusive to INFJs. When we argue with people or when we talk to people, we'll go back to just talking to start with. Small talk can be quite difficult for INFJs, and I think I've nailed down the reason. It's because we hop back on the hamster wheel because we're bored, or they will trigger something in our head that we need to tell them, and we start constructing that conversation in our head while trying to take on what they're still saying, just in case they say something that will derail that conversation or something else that'll branch into something else. And before you know it, you're like, shit, I haven't listened to the last 5 minutes of what they're saying. And like I say, I know it's probably not exclusive to just INFJs, but it is very chronic that INFJs cannot not do this in small talk, and that's why it's frustrating for us, because we want to engage with people to get off the hamster wheel. We want to do things to get out of our head, engage our ESTP subconscious, and do things we enjoy and we're good at, and teach other people. That's a whole other video. When we have arguments with people, the reason we repeat ourselves a lot and struggle with our words is because we've hopped on the hamster wheel during the argument trying to figure out the best way of saying the things to convey the point that we want to get across to people. And as the conversation gets better in our head, or we think of something new, we just say it like we'd say it in our head, but we're so passionate about what we're talking about. We're on the hamster wheel and we're talking, and it can come off like we're stuttering. If we're trying to tell someone something they don't want to hear, it can come off as narcissistic abuse, which is actually a big problem with INFJs. Nothing can be further from it. Is not narcissistic abuse, but it feels like narcissistic abuse in its delivery, because of we're trying to ram home what we want, or our point, or how we want someone else to believe. And when it comes to narcissism, it's for our sake, but with INFJs, it is purely for, we believe it's purely for the sake of the person that we're talking to. Now, in order to, as I've said, we want to get off of the hamster wheel. So the best things we can do, in my experience, is physical activities with other people. I teach karate, and that happens to be one of the best outlets of getting off that hamster wheel, because you really have to live in the moment. Maybe not so much with teaching. There is a lot of hopping back on the hamster wheel with teaching, but when I can just train, or when I'm sparring with my class, the hamster wheel goes right to the back, and it's just about being in the moment and living in the moment. Other coping mechanisms are alcohol. A lot of INFJs I've seen do lean in towards substances. In my personal experience, prescription drugs haven't helped me in the past. They just have put me on a really bad trip. Whereas if I want to get off the hamster wheel, I will drink, play some video games, and it will slide off. I have some other coping mechanisms, spending time with my family, the kids. They really can take away the mental stress of the hamster wheel. I'd love to hear how you guys deal with your mental hamster wheel. If you've managed to conquer it, can you just shut it up and not deal with it anymore? Or are we all just slaves to it forever? Anyway, first video, probably muffled up some words, probably said things backwards, probably said the wrong type. Like I talk about INFPs a lot in my real life because my partner is an INFP, and there's a good chance I might have said the words INFP instead of INFJ, because I'm usually saying INFP a lot more because I talk to her about, or she talks to me about how she's feeling. No, I'm an INFJ. I talk to her about how she's feeling. I need to work on that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Any questions, comments, feedback, anything you want me to talk about? If you hate everything that I've said, don't agree with anything, let me know too. You're probably not an INFJ, and I'll fight you in the comments.